Remember when Lily Allen was so upset at the plight of refugees that she cried and apologised on behalf of Britain?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that. You remember that? Remember when she said she'd be an example to others by 100% taking in a migrant herself?
You may have been asked, I'm not sure, Lily, would you take an unaccompanied child into your own home? Is that
100%.
something you've considered?
100%.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? Especially if they're a big celebrity with a bunch of money and properties.
Who wouldn't?
Turns out, Lily Allen wouldn't.
100% wouldn't.
Nearly 2 years after making that promise, The Guardian asked Lily Allen how many refugees she'd taken in. Drum roll, please.
You may have been asked, I'm not sure, Lily, would you take an unaccompanied child into your own home? Is that something you've considered?
100%.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
And it's none. Well, imagine my shock.
Life is easier for me if I put this stuff out of mind.
Which you did. But wait, maybe I was wrong. Lily Allen did house 2 foreigners in her spare £1.5 million apartment last year. Oh wait, they were wealthy Italians paying her thousands of pounds a month in rent.
Who wouldn't?
But wait. Maybe Lily housed some migrants in her £4.2 million countryside mansion, which is located in the Cotswolds, one of the whitest areas in Britain, with virtually no immigration whatsoever. No, she didn't.
Life is easier for me if I put this stuff out of mind.
Just as it was for Bob Geldof, Benedict Cumberbatch and numerous other celebs who vowed to take in refugees and ended up taking in fuck all refugees. Turns out Lily Allen's crocodile tears were just one big act of virtue signalling. Now, the right always accuses the left of feigning their moral righteousness to appear kind and charitable, while in reality, behind the scenes, being nasty, vindictive and uncharitable. Turns out, it's true. That's not my opinion. No. It's science.
Yes, science! Bitch.
A new study in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that climate change alarmists are less likely to be eco-friendly than climate change skeptics. Cornell and University of Michigan researchers studied 600 participants. They found that those who expressed the most concern about climate change were less likely to recycle, take public transport, or use eco-bags than skeptics who don't even believe in climate change. Yeah, turns out watching an Al Gore documentary, then virtue signalling about it on Facebook doesn't really reduce carbon emissions. In other words, conservatives who don't preach all day on social media about how much they love the earth, or about how evil dictator Trump is destroying it by pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement, are actually more eco-friendly than leftists who do. So it seems the more a leftist virtue signals about something, the greater their rampant hypocrisy on that issue tends to be. Kind of like when celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio lecture us all about global warming.
Climate change is real. It is happening right now.
While flying thousands of miles in private jets to pick up environmental awards, and hanging out on 500-foot gas-guzzling yachts with Middle Eastern oil billionaires, before flying his celebrity friends 6,000 miles across the world so they could listen to his speech about global warming. But it's not just hypocritical lifestyle choices that expose the left's stunning double standard. A 2014 study by the Philanthropy Chronicle found that conservatives in red states were more generous compared to wealthy liberals. Less well-off families from red states donate a relatively higher and growing proportion of their money to charity, while those at the top have been giving a smaller share as their income has increased, the study found. So again, when it comes to broadcasting how humanitarian and charitable they are, leftists have no competition. But when it comes to actually giving money, they go completely AWOL, because why part with actual cash when it's so much cheaper to just signal that virtue? And anyway, you can still purchase these poverty is sexist sweatshirts for the bargain price of $380. I mean, they're so obsessed with virtue signaling, it's not enough anymore to just do it themselves. Now they're using their own children as woke human shields.
My daughter started crying at the dentist's office because the dentist is a boy, and the dentist said, sorry, there are no girl dentists at this office, and my daughter looked at me and said, why did we come here?
Things that didn't happen, part 654,739. But there's nothing funnier than when virtue signaling goes wrong.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's...
But now that virtue signalling is so ingrained in leftist mob culture, giant transnational corporations are using it as a PR stunt to get free advertising. Heineken celebrates open borders. Pepsi panders to the resistance. Of course, it's all just a crude marketing ploy to stand out from the competition and sell more things. But who said that virtue signalling had to be about authenticity? When the international multi-billion-dollar company slaps a rainbow on their sweatshop-made goods, soy face! Virtue signalling is also used to distract from the very behaviour it claims to condemn. Eric Schneiderman was just one of many prominent Me Too advocates to lead the charge against the sexual abuse of women while sexually abusing women. If someone can't shut up about how much they care about women's equality, watch out, because they're probably compensating for something.
How could a man so publicly committed to feminism beat women? It just doesn't make sense. But of course it makes perfect sense. Self-righteousness is always a marker for secret creepiness. The people yelling the loudest are usually hiding the most. Hypocrisy isn't just a feature of modern liberalism, it's the heart of modern liberalism.
Virtue signalling is making everything uglier. A gallery in the UK replaced this painting with this monstrosity to virtue signal. The majority of modern art is objectively terrible because virtue signalling is more important than actual talent. Instead of enjoying toned beach bodies, we're subjected to obese land whales. Virtue signalling is making us less safe. Female firefighters are being given jobs despite failing fitness tests. GCHQ, whose primary job is to spy on terrorists, is busy on Twitter celebrating Trans Week. But while the left seems preoccupied with virtue signalling more than ever, ordinary Americans are not impressed. Ratings for award ceremonies, which have become little more than cliched platitude-spewing circle jerks, are lower than ever. After embracing virtue signalling as a core company ethos, the NFL is hemorrhaging respectability and audience figures. Eminem based an entire album on virtue signalling and only succeeded in committing career suicide. Here's the truth about virtue signalling. It doesn't require doing anything virtuous. It takes no effort or sacrifice at all. Virtue signalling is a substitute for thinking. It's mindless groupthink amplified by the contrived fury of mob outrage. This is why narcissistic, self-loathing losers adopt left-wing politics. It's the only way that they can feel good about themselves. It's a mechanism for self-satisfied twats to pretend they're better than everyone else.
Am I saying that I'm better than you? I guess I'm going a little further than you are. Yeah, I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you.
Virtue signalling is inherently self-serving and selfish. The purpose of virtue signalling is to assuage guilt and gain unearned social brownie points. The purpose of virtue signalling is to incentivize others to regurgitate glib leftist narratives and create giant echo chambers. As with everything the left does, it's the lust for raw power disguised as altruistic beneficence. The aggressive virtue signaller is attempting to compensate for their lack of virtue. I'm sick to the back teeth of virtue signalling. I'm sick of all you sanctimonious phonies who engage in it. And I'm calling you all out on your bullshit right here, right now.
I'm so sorry.